Why are you always sick? In this video, I'm going to help you. I'm sincerely going to help you to stop being so sick all the time. And I'm going to drop some truth bombs here. And I don't apologize, because if I was going to apologize, I just wouldn't tell you the truth. I just tell you what you want to hear, right? My name is Dr. Story. I've been a doctor of chiropractic for over 26 years. I'm going to give you realistic advice based on my experience and based on the scientific literature. And I have seen this time and time again. And listen, guys, it's happened to me too. I mean, I'm human. These things happen, and it can happen so subtly that we don't realize it's happening until we're sick. Many people are sick constantly. They catch numerous viruses. They're always having trouble. I don't want to say what those are because I don't want to get demonetized, but there are a number of diseases that you can catch, and some people are just more susceptible than others. So the question becomes, why are you so sick all the time? And I can tell you from what I have seen in my practice with patients, because as a doctor of chiropractic, you get to know people. You get to converse with them in a way that most doctors don't, because we see people on a frequent basis. We get to know them. You're burning both ends of the candle is what's happening. You're burning one end of the candle, that's the emotional component, and the other end of the candle, which is the chemical. Now, if you are chemically healthy, and what I mean by that is that you're getting enough nutrients to maintain chemical health. Your blood pressure is normal, your cholesterol is normal, your blood sugar is normal. Things are going well chemically for you, in that you have a great diet is essentially what it boils down to. And nothing in your environment is poisoning you, but you are burning out, man. You are emotionally drained. That's only one end of the candle, but that can actually raise your cortisol, increase insulin resistance, and then you start to become in trouble chemically despite your diet. Likewise, if you're nice and relaxed and you don't have much stress and emotionally you're okay, but you eat like crap, then eventually that's going to start to make you feel bad, and then you will start to have emotional problems as well. So it's an interesting cycle. It's fascinating to me that when you start to change your diet, it actually helps you emotionally. You actually feel better. You are happier. And yet when you're also happy, it helps you eat well. But when people are burning both ends of the candle, that is a recipe for disaster. You may as well just go lick electrical outlets, because that's about how healthy your life choices are. And when people are emotionally upset, there's a joke out there. I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, I was so stressed yesterday, I ate 2 pounds of broccoli." People tend to emotionally eat. We tend to be emotional beings. And when you are burning one end of the candle, it definitely affects the other. So my best advice, if you are getting sick, is to realize that there are two ends of this equation. The first is that you have to handle your stress. And most people have a difficult time with that. It is, of course, not easy. It's easy to say this just, speaking to you outside on a microphone and a tape player, but I understand it's difficult, but it has to be done. You have to start taking charge of your life. You can't let the world destroy you. And so one of the things that you have to do is you have to come to grips with the fact that there's going to be stress in your life, that there's going to be negativity, and it's going to be there. And the goal of these negative influences is to destroy you. And you need to figure out how to manage that in such a way, because to think that these outside stresses are going to go away is ridiculous. It's just, quite frankly, ignorant. And it's not going to happen. It hasn't happened in the last 3 years. It hasn't happened in the last 10 years. I know it hasn't happened in my lifetime. There's always been things to be stressed about. And in my parents' time, I look back 100 years in history, and there isn't a single time in history when there weren't problems. So understanding that, it's best to try to figure out how to manage stress, mentally, so that no matter what happens, whatever's going to happen next year, whatever's going to happen the second year, there's going to be something bad that's going to happen in the third year, and so on. And you're going to have to come to grips with the fact that that is going to happen. How do we deal with it? I've recommended this before, but there's a great book out there. The book was written by Dale Carnegie, ironically, about 70 years ago, and it is not his famous book. It is not How to Win Friends and Influence People. He wrote another book that was probably not as famous, and it is called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. I will put a link down below in the description if you want to look at that book and see if it would be worthwhile for you to read. I read it many years ago. Periodically, I'll pick it up and reread a chapter, and I find it very beneficial so that essentially you feel like Superman. The world's bullets can come and get you and be aimed directly at your heart, but because you are Superman, those bullets just fall off you. That is how you have to be emotionally. Now, because you're feeling so good in theory, then what ends up happening is you have to really try to chemically make sure that your body is nutriently dense. That is how you want to think of your body. When you end the day, you want to think to yourself, did I supply all the nutrients that my body needs to thrive? What type of foods do I have to eat that would give me all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the protein, the necessary carbohydrates? And yes, I said a 4-letter word. When you have energy, when you are expending energy, you are allowed to eat carbohydrates. And I'm not talking about cakes and pastas and donuts. That's what people think carbohydrates are. What you may not realize are berries, bananas, vegetables, all types of vegetables. They all have carbs. They all have carbs. Well, we need carbs as an energy source, and that's very controversial, isn't it? Most people that are really healthy, that are exercising a lot and feeling fantastic, do eat food that has carbohydrates in them. You're going to also need to make sure that you have healthy fats. That includes olives, olive oil, coconut oil. You may need butter. It depends on your activity level, how much you eat. Obviously, if you're exercising 2 hours a day, you're going to require more food than someone who does not exercise. But to make sure that you have the right chemicals that supply your brain and supply your body with the necessary nutrients it needs to thrive is a recipe for ultimate health. And that is essentially, guys, how it's done. It's simple on paper. There's a learning curve, but you can do it. You can absolutely do it. All it takes is a couple baby steps, and then you're on the way. So use my channel up. Watch all the videos. I give you lots of great information on how to get this process started. It can be done very, very easily. And then once you're on basically the hamster wheel, it becomes extremely easy. Now you're probably going to want to take some supplements. There's a number of supplements that you can take. I take a number of supplements. One of the supplements I take at nighttime that helps me sleep is Magnesium Breakthrough. They are the video sponsor for today. The product is made by a company named Bioptimizers. I get 500 milligrams of magnesium in addition to my normal diet, and this helps my blood pressure. It helps my heart. It helps arrhythmias. It helps blood sugar management. It helps relaxation, parasympathetic activity. There's a whole host of things that happen with taking magnesium. So I would encourage you to at least look at the link down below in the description and see if it's something that would be right for you. In addition to that, if you're having a hard time getting started with this, I totally understand. That's why in my office, we have sections of time that we reserve for phone consultations and Zoom consultations. I have done Zoom consultations all over the world from people all over, and I've helped people get started getting healthy again. So if you're interested in having a phone consultation with me or a Zoom appointment, then all my information is down below in the description on this YouTube channel. You can get my website. You can just look me up Adam Story DC. You can get my phone number, call my office manager, and we can set up a phone consultation or Zoom consultation. There is a fee for it, so it's not something that is for free. However, we are sectioning off time during our day when we have a one-to-one conversation just with you.